Yeah. What's going on? You guys might remember us. My name is Jose, aka the Dominican Dream, and this is my man.
Your boy, BX Sean, aka the Maniac. And we here, guys. We're back and we're gonna do this differently. You know how we roll, man. We give you nothing but the real. So that's what we here for.
We are once again ready to talk boxing now, Sean, with not only audio but visual as well. So I'm just really excited to kick this off and to start this. And I think that we're doing it at a time where there's a lot going on in boxing. Boxing is buzzing.
Yeah.
We got, of course, the immediate reaction is what we're gonna give you to Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. We got Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford that was announced a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
We're coming off the Haney Lomachenko that we weren't able to do a show for.
Correct.
And there's a lot of things to talk about regarding those fights and those events. So I'm just excited, man, and I'm gonna kick it off, man. This episode I think I'm gonna call it "What Now."
What now?
What now?
And why you say that?
I'm a Teofimo Lopez fan.
Okay.
Not because he's Honduran. I ain't from Honduras. I'm Dominican. Not because he's from New York, and I live in New York.
Yeah.
I was raised in Jersey, but I live in New York. Not because, I like his haircut. You know what I'm saying? I'm a barber, but is because this kid is the only young fighter in boxing who calls out the best, fights the best, and beats the best.
Correct.
And bro, that's something that you can't hate on. I don't care if you don't like the way he speaks. And I something he said. There's a video and things circulating around there since last night that he talks about retirement.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how, he was tired of being bullied. He said, "Go bully somebody else. Go bully Haney. Go bully Tank. Go bully one of those other guys." And rightfully so, because this kid, man, he was 12, 13-0. Calling out Lomachenko. They said, nah, chill, sit down, shut up, wait your turn. You ain't ready, you crazy.
Yeah.
He was about 15-0. They gave it to him. He fought him, he beat him.
Yeah.
No catch weight, no nothing. No rehydration clause, no nothing. He went on to fight Kambosos, fought the wrong fight, beat himself.
Correct.
You give credit to Kambosos, who was the other body in there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we know Kambosos is not an elite fighter. He struck gold. He struck lightning. I don't think he'll have another signature win again.
Yeah.
Then he went on to fight Pedro Campa at 140, at his first fight at 140. And, Pedro Campa fought Brandon Lee, who's an up-and-coming, slightly touted prospect at 140 pounds.
Yeah, I think he's more of a contender now, Brandon Lee. I'll say he's a contender.
Well,
he's close to a title shot.
Is that 140?
Yeah.
And he went life and death with Campa. That was a war. Mm-hmm. I saw the fight. Mm-hmm. People booed the decision. Not saying that it was the wrong decision, but the fans there, probably being mostly Hispanic or Mexican, they saw the Mexican dude putting in that work and they said, "Yo, come on, man, boo."
The fans know. The fans know.
So you know what I'm saying? That lets you know the level that Teo was on, because Teo, it wasn't even close. He outclassed him. He saw he couldn't knock him out early, so he said, all right. So he mixed it up, went to the body, touched him to the body, and mixed it up with shots up top, and he stopped him.
Yeah, he broke him down methodically.
And he's strong. That dude is strong. Yeah. Next, he fights Sandor Martin out of Spain. And people are like, he didn't look good. He lost the fight. Ain't the same Teo. Where he at? All right, let me tell you something about Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin is not the kind of dude that to me, he's not in the ring to win fights. He's in the ring to not lose them or to make you look bad. Mm-hmm. But all he's gonna be is an opponent. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of fighter that he is.
Well, he did beat Mikey Garcia.
He beat Mikey Garcia, who was perhaps 1 feet or 2 feet out the door.
Correct.
I saw the fight.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he there was no.
It's still a win.
Yeah, I didn't think.
And
I thought it was close. I thought.
Yeah, I'll say close, but I think he won the fight.
Yeah, I thought Mikey wasn't even really into the fight. I think if Mikey would have stepped on the gas, he would have got rid of this dude. The bottom line is this is the kind of dude that's gonna make you look bad because he's a defensive fighter.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He's not out there. It's not what he does to you.
Yeah.
It's what he prevents from you doing to him.
Yeah, stylistically he's a tough matchup
he's
for anybody at 140.
Yeah, he's a you know what I'm saying? He's the kind of guy that's gonna mess up your party. And he ain't gonna make you look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he didn't make Mikey look good, I guess. And he didn't make Teo look good. He didn't allow him to shine. But he was on the defense the whole time. And for you to be the name, you can't be on the defensive the whole time and then
expect to get a win.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Yeah.
Sean, I've been talking a lot, man. So you were there, ringside.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts, man, and tell the people how good it feels to be back on the round table.
Oh man, first of all, man, Dream, my brother. It's amazing feeling to be back, man, because this is what I love to do, man. I love to talk boxing. It's a passion of ours, ever since we met. This is something we spoke about. But yeah, man, it's beautiful to do it on this stage. Now we're doing it the way, with times. You gotta step it up, and that's what we're doing now. But as far as the fight, man, wow, I was in the Garden. It was an amazing atmosphere. I mean, it was a sold-out crowd. The Scottish people were out there. New York City was there, Puerto Ricans, Hondurans, because, there was also a lot of prospects and contender Puerto Rican fighters. But Teo, he came in, man, the fighter where most of us thought this could be the end of him if he lost this fight. Now I went on a limb and I said, I'm going to pick Teo. I picked him. I didn't think for 1 second he was going to win in dominant fashion. And what Teo did yesterday, guys, I want to be very clear, was domination. He showed why that he's one of the best fighters in boxing, period. The guy, he has flaws, but he checks all the box. Footwork, check. Power, check. Speed, check. Boxing ability, check. Defensive skills, check. The guy checks all the boxes, and he's a tough kid because we seen it in the Kambosos fight.
And he could take a punch too. I don't know if you mentioned.
Yeah, it's a tough. I put that right under toughness. So to see Teo perform the way he did yesterday, man, was a great feeling. Because as we said off air, right, he's been facing a lot of criticism. Well, media, fans, other fighters. So what he did yesterday, he did this, Dream. He silenced everybody. He said, shut up, I'm back. Teo is the man in the forefront, guys. Right? The four horsemen. We got Tank, Haney, Teo, Shakur. I don't think those three fighters are eager to fight Teo. I don't see none of those three begging for that fight.
I think that's something that I spoke to you about on several occasions, and to other people as well. We weren't around. The round table wasn't around during this time, but we remember when, or I can tell you guys if you don't remember, when Kambosos beat Teofimo. There was a line from here. I live on. There was a line, bro, that wrapped around the block 2 times.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody wanted Kambosos.
They wanted Kambosos because they knew this man had the 3-4 titles, whatever it was, and
undisputed.
He was easy pickings, man. He was right for the picking. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't see anyone with the same energy when Lopez had the belts, right? We didn't see people lining up to fight Lopez after he beat Lomachenko.
Well, people going to say that Haney wanted to fight and then his father and they sent the contract. No. There's going to people, I'm just telling you, that's what people going to say.
Bill Haney knows himself. Devin Haney knows himself. They could lie to us. They could lie to themselves. or they can lie to us and other people, but they can't lie to God and they can't lie to themselves. They know in their hearts whether they truly wanted that fight or not. No, they didn't. They worked with Top Rank. They've been working with Top Rank for a while. That fight could have been made. That fight could still be made. But like I said, man, this is the only young guy. When you look at Tank, who is a good fighter, and he has it all because he's been developed correctly, and they're giving him time to develop. Yeah. But when you look at Tank's resume, it don't look like Teofimo's resume, even though he has more fights. When you look at Haney's resume, it don't look like Teo's resume. When you look at Shakur's resume, it doesn't even. He hasn't fought anybody yet. Only guy he fought was Valdez, who was a really a 126, 130 pounder maybe at most. But it's just, again, you're not gonna see people calling out Teofimo. None of those guys, and we're mentioning those guys, and you guys might say, well, some of those guys at 135, when Tank has fought at 140. Correct. Stevenson is big enough to fight at 140. Haney, we know he's already been talking about going to 140, and everyone is saying how he's squeezing himself down to make 135. Also, Teo paid his dues, man. Teo is not one of these young guys that blah 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 blah. Nah, man, what he's gotten with hard work. You know, he's Honduran. There's no Honduran big fan base in boxing.
No,
he's not
definitely
Mexican.
not.
He ain't Puerto Rican.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't hype him up just because he's gonna be a ticket seller. Correct. He did this the hard way. Him and his dad. Correct. From the bottom. And he went and got these straps. All of them. And to me, not only to me, man, anyone who has common sense. Yeah. He's undisputed twice. Correct. Twice. Because I don't know the intricacies, but you had Haney had got a belt over some email or some shit like that.
Yeah. A Mickey Mouse belt.
And
we know that.
This dude picked up the belts. He picked up one belt, I think it was from Comey, right?
Which one? Who?
Lopez. Yeah. And then when he knocked him out, and then he went to fight Lomachenko, who had about 2 or 3 belts himself. Yeah. And he got him. He took him. He fought and won to get those belts. Yeah. Now, he's called out Lopez Taylor like 2 fights ago. He did. And Taylor, what did Taylor say? Oh, he hasn't done nothing at 140. What should I fight him? He ain't saying that shit about Haney. He's saying, I'd love to give Haney a shot at 140. Yeah, nigga, because you know the guys, you know the dudes, he's a little
stylistically, he's fit for him.
He's frail. Yeah, he's frail as a fighter. He has tremendous skill. Yes. Haney. Yes. But he's a guy that, to me, he's not gonna take a good punch from Teo, from Tank. Forget about it. Tank will stop him in whenever he wants. Yeah. I think Stevenson will probably outdog him. I don't think Stevenson is another guy who doesn't have a lot of power. So that'll be an actual even fight, and we spoke about it earlier. Yes. But, not to derail so much. We got to talk about Teofimo and those guys because, again, he paid his dues. And when you pay your dues, now he's a boxing superstar again, right? So we're not going to put a superstar in there against Prograis, who I think Lopez will beat anyway. I think Prograis looked horrible against Cepeda. People, they call him a monster. I thought the fight, me personally, I thought the fight was whack up until the knockout. Yeah, there was nothing going on up until the knockout. Zepeda's a guy who's long in the tooth, and he can't box. He don't got no boxing skill. He don't got no technique. He got power.
He got power. He's tough. I mean, 2 tough fighters. I mean, let's be clear, guys, right? I don't want people think this is episode of Teofimo loving episode, which we're not. We're giving props, right? Same way Tank get his props for why he did, same way Haney got his props for why he did. We got to give Teo his props because of the 4 you mentioned. Teo has the best resume. It's not even up for debate. He has the best resume of the 4, and he has the ability to beat all 4 of those fighters. Is he? Could he? We don't know because I don't think we're going to have all of them fight each other. But the closest one might be Haney because we know there's already tension. I wouldn't say like serious tension.
Well,
but
they're both for top rank.
they both were top rank, and it's a very doable fight. And we know Haney, it's not making 135 comfortably. So, right, same way, Teo arguably took all the belts at 135, went up to 140, did the same thing. We know that Josh Taylor technically is the undisputed, but he let some belts go. They stripped them.
Well, it's opposite. Technically, he's not.
He's
you
not.
Don't got him.
Correct.
But in reality, he is.
There you go.
Because
Yeah.
no one took those belts from him.
Correct.
And I see people commenting, and you guys are haters, bro.
Yeah.
He's the undisputed champion at 140. He beat up, embarrassed Josh Taylor, who went and picked up those belts.
Yes.
He didn't get him gifted to him. He went and got him. He fought in that tournament. He beat Prograis and he beat others to get those belts. No one had beaten him. He was the king at 140. This guy just beat the king. No one took the belts from Taylor. He's undisputed. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You could go and give those belts away to charity. You could go and put them in the vending machine and put quarters. And remember when you went to the laundromat? And they had this shit with the claw that came down, and every time you press the button, this shit would never grab. It would close when it.
When you grab something.
That's how Haney got the belt, the WBC or whatever.
Yo, Haney, there's no shot at you, brother, but we calling it like it is. But what I wanted to say, right? Dream. So now that Teo, while Haney could do what Teo just did, right? Because he can go up to 140. And fight Teo for all those belts. And if he beats someone like Teo, right, now he did exactly what Teo did at 135 and 140. This is what I'm saying. That's the fight that makes the most sense for both fighters, right? Teo mentioned that, I only got to pay $1 million for the fight. What the F is this? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so we know Haney, he going to make more than $1 million. That's going to be a pay-per-view fight. But what I want to tell you is, last night's fight, what did you see? What it was that Teo did to beat Taylor? How did he break him down? How he was able to be so dominant in that fight from what you saw?
Thank you for asking me that question because, you know, I can get carried away talking about other things. And this is one of the things that distinguishes us from other shows. And,
correct.
And that's how we break down fights.
Yes, sir.
And that's something that we love to do. I've always loved intelligent fighters. I was a big De La Hoya fan growing up, and I think growing up in the 90s, we were spoiled because, to me, I agree with the comment that Pernell, the late Pernell,
Whitaker.
Sweet Pea Whitaker,
rest in peace.
Said about the 90s fighters. He said that the 90s was the best, the apex, man, or the pinnacle of talent, skill. I think that's when, you know, you had all the way from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, phenomenal fighters. But I think in the 90s, people had the skill of the fighters of the 80s, but kind of the new athleticism meets the guys that were teaching from the 40s and 50s were still around. I think you had the best fighters in history in the 90s. And to see, you know, De La Hoya, Ike Corte, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, and the list goes on and on, and James Toney, and so many magnificent fighters that, you know, the contenders back then would have been undisputed and unified world champions now because it was just that big of a difference. Not in all weight classes, but most. But getting to that fight, I think that Teo, his dad mentioned something. His dad mentioned that he was messing up his son, that he wasn't allowing his son to be himself. And I guess that means that his son is actually good at counterpunching and observing his opponent and reading his opponent because he's much faster than just about everybody he fights. And Taylor's not slow. No. Taylor got some speed, but Teofimo's lightning quick. His twitch, his fast twitch muscles are. This guy's a phenomenal athlete. So I think that he simply used that ability to read his opponent, to read what his opponent was gonna do, and he out-talented him.
Yeah.
He out-talented him because we saw a talent disparity.
Yes.
Last night.
Yes.
He didn't use the jab as much as I would have liked,
Correct.
but maybe that was a good idea because this dude is long, and he's also a great counterpuncher, Josh Taylor.
And a southpaw.
And he was waiting on T.O. He was waiting him with that left hand, which I saw last night. It looked like that's all Taylor has.
Yeah.
Is that left hand. I don't know what kind of threat or issues he poses with the right hand. So I think that T.O. simply used his athleticism, his superior speed, and his counterpunching ability and his counterpunching vision to read and see what Taylor was doing and simply just wait and pop him. But what I like about T.O. He's the kind of fighter that he likes to put on a show.
Yeah.
So
and he did.
He did. He could easily pot shot his way to a win.
Yes.
And he could have made it a much more boring fight. Yeah. But he likes to go in there and do all this and pop you with the Superman punches and jump in the air and be aggressive and hurt you. He looks for the knockout. And unfortunately with Kambosos, that's the only thing he looked for, and that's why he lost the fight.
Cost him.
But I think that here, man, that's really what won him the fight is that superior talent, man. He's just more talented. Like I said, man, he could have used a jab a little more. I don't like him coming in with his hands down a lot. He made adjustments from his last fights till now. I think he had better defense.
Yes.
I saw him putting his right hand up a lot.
Yeah, the phone.
Yeah. I saw him doing that a lot, and I was happy to see that. But still, there was a lot of moments where when he comes in, T.O., if you're watching, he comes in, and when he comes in, he puts his hands down because he's so he knows that he's extremely fast.
His athleticism.
Yeah, and that there's not too many people that are going to be able to capitalize on that.
Correct.
But when he's in there against an elite fighter like Josh Taylor or Haney or Tank or one of those guys, they're fast enough to take advantage of that mistake.
And more skilled than a Josh Taylor to take advantage. And no, that was good, man.
I think,
and that was a good breakdown. So basically the same thing. What T.O. started to do was he started to move better in the fight, right? And he kind of fought more from the outside. He was aggressive, passive aggressive. He didn't get reckless aggressive. He used passive. He got in there, he got out. Because we know Josh Taylor, one of his best attributes is to fight on the inside. He's your rugged fighter. He likes to fight rough. And T.O. at times did it. He didn't back down. He wasn't intimidated. He wasn't going to let the bully him. And he didn't allow that. But then T.O. started fighting. He started using that footwork. Josh Taylor did not have the skill set or the footwork or the boxing ability to cut off the ring. T.O. started to play with him, man. It started to be like big brother, little brother. You have a little brother, you play with him, he'll get a hit or two, but then you say enough is enough, and now he couldn't touch him.
Yeah, he embarrassed him, and I think that also, now that you mention it, T.O., one of the things that I thought that he didn't have was an inside game, and he doesn't have much of it, but he showed more of it yesterday. He showed it, but early in the fight. I think it was around from the second to the fifth round where he fought inside and he brawled a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I say. He was in there.
And he threw short punches, which would have benefited him to do more throughout the fight because he was a shorter fighter. And to jump in on a guy like Josh Taylor is dangerous because he got that left hand waiting for you.
Yeah.
He got that left uppercut that he likes to use in that counter, and he'll put you to sleep, or drop you. Yeah. So I was a little concerned about that. I would have hoped, and I still hope that T.O. Gets his inside game better, and is just more calm. And I think that props to his father to getting him to where he's at, and to realizing that he was making a mistake. I still think his dad needs to back off a little bit, not only from him as a trainer, but from him as a human being, as a son. Because a lot of times these fathers, they want to live vicariously through their children. We saw
Angel Garcia.
well, not so much Angel, but Angel and Sean Porter's dad, who
Kenny Porter.
Yeah, who did a great job with his son. All of them have, but in that Crawford fight, which I think that Porter was doing a great job in, and was possibly even ahead. I don't think he was on the cards, but in a lot of the viewers said, this is a close fight, and they even told
he was losing. I felt he was losing that fight at the time.
They told Crawford, he up.
Yeah.
In the corner, and Crawford said he up, and he got up, and
stepped on the gas.
Yeah. So for him to throw in the towel with a warrior like Porter, sometimes and he said because maybe he was frustrated, maybe his son wasn't doing what he wanted him to do, but it ain't about that, man. You gotta you give advice.
Yeah.
You my friend. You a friend of mine.
Yes.
I could give you advice, but I can't make you do nothing.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you don't, I can't bicker about it it's that advice. A trainer trains you, and he's in the corner to be an advisor to you while you fight. You know what I'm saying? He's not someone that you're not a controller that he's playing a video game through you and nah, man. So you gotta let these guys, of course, train them, try to point them in the best way that you can, and if you don't, that's where I think that's one thing I like about Bill Haney. He's brought in countless other trainers. Floyd Mayweather Senior. Who else has he brought in to work with his son? But listen, I saw a lot of. I've seen a lot of people. He brought in a lot of different guys to give his son tools that perhaps he can't.
Correct. So that was gonna be my thing. My question to you. I know you just mentioned about Teo Senior, and that you would like to see him pretty much part ways with him, but
I wouldn't say. Before I would have said part ways with him.
So you just take a step back, not to leave the camp, but just to say, listen, you know what? What do you see that I'm not seeing? Listen, I can help your son.
Look at Virgil Ortiz Sr. He trains his son, but he said, you know what? Let me take my son to a guy that knows more than me.
Yeah.
And he had him training with Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
And Virgil was still in the corner. And he was still giving out instructions, but he let Robert Garcia take the lead.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do. You don't got to leave the corner completely. That's
Correct.
his father. That's your comfort zone. That's your family. He's been there with you since day one. You know what I'm saying? But bring somebody else in to help him, man, to finish polishing up a guy who is a pound for pound fighter, because he just beat two guys that were probably on the pound for pound list. When he beat him in some of their best moments. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. With Lomachenko and Taylor. So if you do that, then we got to talk about you in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? With his age, his number of fights. Again, the only young fighter in boxing who calls out the best, fights the best, and beats the best. 25 years old, undisputed twice in two different weights. No, come on, man. Yeah. So a guy like that who's doing that off of what you taught him, and I heard that he learned on YouTube how to train his son. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it a long time because he's been training him for a number of years.
Yeah. I mean, the sky's the limit if they could get someone in there
to polish him up, man.
Yeah, definitely. But so now that we went through the fight, what do you think will be next for Teofimo Lopez? What do you think is his options, and where do you see, right? I mean, none of us know, but just us as fans, what do you think the direction they go or the direction they should go?
Well, there's a lot of people out there talking already about the 140-pound division and who should be next. So, you got the guy that Josh Taylor beat,
Catterall,
not Catterall. But the guy of
Jose Ramirez
of more notoriety, Prograis. He's been mentioned a lot.
Regis.
Jose Ramirez has been mentioned, I think, excuse me, I think that's an interesting and tough fight. I
Definitely
that
tough
fight I don't like for Teo because
stylistically,
this kid could box and punch. Teo still is the superior talent, but I think technically, fundamentally, Jose is better in the sense that he uses more fundamentals. He's a fundamental fighter. He's not a guy that relies on his tremendous God-given speed and power. He knows how to box. He knows how to fight.
he presents a lot of. He could present a lot of problems for Teo. I agree.
And he's a tough Mexican fighter, and also not only a great fighter but a great person.
Yes.
He's an advocate for the people, for the workers, the field workers in his area, in California. So that's one of the reasons I didn't like. I personally don't like Josh Taylor as a person, because he was so disrespectful to Jose leading up to that fight for no reason. He's not a guy that's gonna go and disrespect you. He got in his face and he snuffed him, and during the fight he was dirty during the fight. And I don't know if you saw the interview where Jose said it. Jose said, well, we all know Taylor's a dirty fighter. Yeah. He said it after the Teo Lopez fight. But Teo didn't really have to put up with too much of that. And he did a little bit. We saw Taylor hit him when Teo was in the ropes. I don't know if you remember that. And
he just didn't give him the opportunity, which was beautiful, right? Yeah, right. And that's just the bottom line, right? If you're going to fight somebody, if I know you got power, that's all you have, I'm going to stay away from you as much as possible. Why I'm going to stand in front of you all night and try to prove something? Prove what? That you can knock me out? No,
not only that, but it's just that what I'm saying, that those dirty tactics, even when he knocked down Ramirez, I think it was the second knockdown.
The uppercut.
When
you sent me that video.
Yeah, when you had the worst referee in boxing history, who like Teddy Atlas said should be investigated, especially after his refereeing of Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez.
Kenny Bayless.
We
ain't gonna get into that. That's for another day.
The best ref, exactly. The best ref is the one you don't see.
Correct.
Kenny Bayless is his name should be on the posters when he fight. You know what I mean? Kenny Bayless is ref of the night. Who fighting? I don't know, but Bayless is. I guess that's the way he wants people to look at it.
Too involved.
And he was getting involved and touching. He touched Ramirez, and he was about to break them up, and then he decided not to break them up, and he changed his mind. And while he changed his mind, Taylor hit the dude and put him down. It's just I don't like those kind of dirty tactics. I don't like people being dirty outside of the ring or inside of the ring. Now, if you an asshole and you deserve it, a guy to be like when this dude was sunning Charlo, because Charlo
Benavidez.
Charlos talk a lot of shit. No, not Benavidez.
There's
a man from Detroit.
Oh, Harrison. Tony Harrison.
He tore him a new asshole. Up to leading to the rematch. Yeah. He was just sunning him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a real dude and real recognized real. Tony Harrison's a tremendous dude, respectful dude. But he knew Charlo was on some bitch shit, man, talking all this crazy shit. Nah, man, bro.
Yeah.
It's this ain't the streets. This ain't gangsters. This is a sport. This is boxing.
Gentleman's sport.
The sport is just, to me, where the utmost sportsmanship out of all sports is displayed.
Yes.
It should be. And you got guys like the Charlo who, after he knocked out Lubin, they get out of here. He didn't want to shake his hand.
We know. Again, trust me. This is episode 1. We're gonna break all that down. Trust me.
That kind of shit I don't like.
Just so we don't get too far out. I need you to answer that. What's next for Teo? Will you see which direction they going next?
I don't know which direction they're going in next, but Teo is a guy who. Another reason why I love Errol Spence, who's my favorite fighter in boxing today.
Currently,
because this guy fights the best. Only, even when he came off the accident, even me, I said, he should take a little, take a nice little stepping stone, a little gatekeeper kind of fighter. He said, nah, I want to fight a top welterweight. He fought Danny Garcia, who's a dangerous fighter. Not the best fighter in the division, but he has a lot of power.
No, he's dangerous.
And
he's a
great counterpuncher. And That's his mantra. No tune-ups. And that's gangster.
Yeah.
That's gangster. Arrow need to talk a lot of shit to get into fighters' heads.
Yeah.
To disrespect fight. He don't need to do that, man. The same way Manny ain't need to do that. The same way I don't know, man. Other fighters that are real, hush fighters and they just do their job in the ring. So, but what I like to see, I don't know, man. The sky's the limit. I would like to see the Haney fight.
Yes.
They're both top ranked. That's a big money fight.
Yes.
That's a fight of notoriety. Stop playing.
Makes the most sense.
Stop playing.
It makes the most sense, and that's exactly me. I think the fans majority is gonna say Haney Teo. Now, how adamant they are to go up there and fight Teo, I don't know. Based on what they saw yesterday, now all these Twitter thugs, these boxers, ain't nobody say, yo, give me a shot of that undisputed, give me a shot of them belts. No, like when they did with Cambosis. So I think me again, because nobody knows, just throwing it out there. It's either gonna be Haney for undisputed. Not undisputed, because he doesn't have all the belts. In reality, like you said, he should have. But anyway, or he's gonna unify with someone like Matias, because we know Riley is PBC and Teo's top rank.
I don't think he's gonna fight Sergiy Matias, who's a
dangerous fighter.
He's a dangerous. He gotta, and then with those defensive flaws, if he connects on Teo, he has incredible power. And from what I hear, I hear that I think he fought a fighter who unfortunately passed away after he fought him.
Yeah, he did. I forgot the fighter's name.
More info on that if I'm correct. You guys prove me.
A European fighter.
You guys let me know if I'm wrong. But he has just devastating power. And he's not a big commodity. He's not a big name. So, I think that the best options for Teo would be Haney, number 1. Prograis, number 2. And Jose Ramirez, number 3. All so right. I think those are the choices that he had. Unless a Shakur Stevenson want to come up and get some smoke. Yeah. But I don't think so. I think that if Teo would have looked bad, or even if Teo would have won and looked bad, Stevenson would have said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go up there."
I agree.
He ain't going up there now. He know what time it is.
Yeah, I don't think nobody want that Teo smoke, man. And just to close out on the whole Teo thing, he's back, and he's a problem, man. He's a problem for anybody 140. He's a problem, and the best fight to make right now be Haney and him. Is it gonna happen next? We don't know, but I'm definitely eager to see what's next for Teo, because we know he brings it. So I can't wait. We shall see. There was another fight. You wanted to say something.
You want to do that, or you want to close out the show?
No. We're gonna talk a little more.
All right.
We about to wrap it up.
Yeah. All right.
So there was another fight. Dream yesterday, right? On the zone, we had Jamie Mungia against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. As we know, Derevyanchenko has fought the who's who of boxing. He's fought Danny Jacobs. He's fought Canelo. He's fought Carlos Adames.
Nah, he ain't fighting
Not Canelo. I'm bugging out.
Charlo.
And he fought Triple G, Charlo, Adames, and Jacobs.
He fought Adames?
Yeah. He fought Adames, man. He lost them. Close fights. And now he's fighting a fighter. He's fought a fighter, Mungia, who Golden Boy has been prepping little by little. But it's getting annoying. Fans are getting tired. He has 41 fights, and this is his best fight that happened yesterday. And, man, I'm telling you, it was a bomb burner for the most part. I've never seen Mungia get hit the way he did yesterday. Derevyanchenko came and he brought it. If he had power, Mungia would have been done. And I'm just there with my mouth open like, wow, he's going to stop this guy. but he just didn't have the power. Munguia's a big guy, and he was able to withstand that storm. And
a lot of those East European fighters, they're not good at finishing.
Yeah.
And that's a problem that I have with them strong, tough fighters. But
unless they heavyweights.
Yeah, they usually I guess they get too used to the amateur style, like Lomachenko, 400 amateur fights and two gold medals in the Olympic, and you get used to that style, and you know they don't really put their foot on the gas to finish fights like the fighters in the West do, or the fighters here in America, where you know home runs sell here, knockout sell. So you know it's about that. I didn't get to watch the fight, but you know you're telling me about it. What I can say about Mungia is that he hasn't looked spectacular in his last couple fights. I feel like he's one of the only fighters in boxing that's regressed rather than progressed, despite having the great Eric Morales in his corner.
Which he's still there, yeah.
You know, I think he's basically reaching his ceiling, and I think that's it, man. It's time to feed him to the wolves, man, and see what he got.
He's fooled at 168. Not going to sugarcoat it. He's fooled at 168. Plant, Benavidez, Morel, Canelo, those fighters, he don't even beat Plant. Plant will cook that boy. And it's time. Plant will cook Munguia. Yes, he would.
He's another kind of fighter like Martin, where he ain't gonna do nothing to you. He's just gonna stop you from doing things to him.
The only thing I would say that the problem Munguia presents to Plant is his pressure. And we know Plant, 6-round fighter, 7-round fighter. But if Benavidez couldn't stop Plant, I don't think Munguia can.
Well, Benavidez stopped Plant.
But I mean,
in my eyes, but again,
I know you're gonna say Kenny Bayless.
Kenny Bayless, you know, I think it was the 8th round where he was beating the shit out of Plant.
Yeah.
And it looked like he's getting ready to pack it up.
There were moments where it looked like Plant was about to go.
I think Kenny stopped it for about 45 seconds,
yeah,
close to a minute. I don't know what. Oh, I guess you got a cut. You cut. You bleeding. Well, I guess he wasn't bleeding before that. Anyway,
yeah.
But and I remember a lot of people. If you guys remember, if you don't remember, I'm gonna remind you. And like even Oscar De La Hoya tweeted, "Congrats to Benavidez for beating both Plant and the referee tonight." Yeah. And Teddy Atlas said that Kenny Bayless should be investigated.
yeah.
So that there was a lot of backlash. And you know, in fights that boxing is a time sensitive sport.
Yes.
Right? If you don't allow a fighter, if you intervene in a moment where you kill somebody's momentum and you shut it down and you give somebody breathing room, especially an elite fighter who can recuperate in 10 seconds or 15, you give him 45 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. You know,
that's a lifetime.
You're directly interacting with the destiny of the fight. You know, and whether for good or for bad, you could be helping one fighter and you could not be helping another fighter. So, you know, these refs, man, you know, I think I'm glad that there's Twitter, social media, where everyone can come out and voice their concerns and their outcries and bash whatever they need to bash, because, you know, at the end of the day, we want fair fights.
That's it. As fans, that's all we want. We want two things, right? And I think we all could agree on this. We want the best to fight the best, and we want fair fights. That's it. Whether we like the fight or not, he should get a fair share. If he wanted to fight, he wanted to fight. But boxing has proven to be a very corrupt sport, and no one's gonna argue that. And that's a topic for another episode. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see where Munguia goes from here. But you know, we had on Friday, we had Adrien Broner against Bill the Lawyer Huthcinson, and they fought in the church gym down the block. Yeah, they fought in.
That ring looked like that shit. That ring looked like that shit was made by Fisher Price. Man, that shit.
Oh man, listen. It looked horrible, guys.
That ring looked like, you remember the playpens at McDonald's and shit with all the balls in it. You used to jump in there as a little kid, like some shit like that.
Yeah,
It's like a pop up ring, like you could put it.
Yeah, like a blow up.
Yeah.
You just blow it up. Yeah, man. I think anyone who saw that fight, right? I think we could all agree that it was just very low budget. Even my wifey was like, "What are we watching?" She thought we was watching a fight in '88, a fight from 1988. It was just sad all around, man. But regardless, not to get away, from the fight itself, Broner, right? That was a fight at 140, not 147. So he's campaigning at junior welterweight. So based on what I saw from the fight, I'll give him a B minus, right? He should have stopped someone like Huthcinson, which at times he did, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it's been over 2 years since he's been in the ring. So it's been a while for Broner to be in the ring, yeah. And, he needed those rounds in. Now, at 140, to me, is he a threat to the top fighters? No. Can he present problems? Yes. And as long as you match him in there with the right fighters, I think he can he could beat Riley.
I didn't see that fight, so I can't comment on it.
Broner could beat Riley. Ryan, they mentioned that. Don King said, De La Hoya tweeted, "Hey, bro, I'll be more than happy to pick up the call." So now they're talking about a possible fight with Ryan Garcia and Adrien Broner.
Yeah, I mean, and I apologize to the fans because I watch. I try to watch a lot of fights, but last night I was really really busy, and the only fight I got to watch was the Lopez Taylor main event.
Which was the main fight to watch.
I was working, and we've just been trying to get this podcast up and running. And other than that, I'm gonna give you any fights that are relevant. I'm gonna be able to talk about them and break them down.
Yeah.
But Broner, I've been talked about Broner and Riley, just because of the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
And I said that a while ago, man, like over a year ago. As far as the Broner Garcia, is it relevant? No. Business.
Yeah.
Business fight.
Yeah, business.
Ryan is now training with
Derek James,
which I don't think is going to make a big difference because
correct.
I don't think they're suited for each other. I think I'm not saying Derek James is a bad trainer. I just think that Derek James has the fighters he has, and he clicks with them, and he's clicked with them for a while. And I think, I don't know, I don't see him making too much of a difference in Ryan Garcia. But props to Ryan for trying to better himself.
Yes, and I've said it, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Everyone was, he's with Derek James. I said it doesn't matter who's with who, guys. Let's be clear. When this is boxing. We seen trainers. How many fighters training? Freddie Roach trained it. He couldn't do nothing with them. Does that make Freddie Roach a bad trainer? No. It's just sometimes the chemistry and the trainers, they just don't have it. And rumor has it that Ryan Garcia is not the easiest fighter to work with. Right? So I know Derek James have a...
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play that shit.
He's not going to play that. It's like, yo, listen, you're going to come here to work or you could leave.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So you let me know what you want to do.
But at the end of the day, trainers get that percentage.
Yeah.
When you get that percentage...
He want to make that money.
You get that percentage, you get $1 million a fight or whatever it is. I don't know what the percentage is for trainers, but, Yeah. But... Anyway, man, but closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, so, my closing thoughts is this. It's good to see Teo back in the forefront. In this era, especially, it's better when he's good, when Teo's there, it's good. It makes it exciting for boxing. He's one of those fighters that we look forward to seeing. He's a fighter that when he does fight, he's exciting. He is must-see TV. So I'm happy for him based on what he's going on, especially outside the ring, his divorce and his battle custody for his child. Me being a parent myself, that must be very heartbreaking. So I'm just happy for him. I can't wait to see who he's going to fight next. It should be exciting. Mungia, well, we'll see what happens. I could really care less who he fights because I know it's going to be a wrap for him once he does fight somebody of note. And Broner, we know regardless who he fight, is going to be, must see, face-to-face, must see a press conference because that's just who Broner is. So, again, man, that's my closing thoughts. Oh, and real quick, a fighter that we did mention, Regis Prograis, is fighting this Saturday on DAZN on the 17th. So make sure we tuning in to watch that so we could see how he look.
Well, thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. Feels great to be back, to be back in a better way.
Yes.
And I'm just looking forward to doing more and more of these shows as the opportunity presents itself, whether it's, of course, most together, Sean and I, most of the time. And, we might give separate thoughts and upload it to the channel about anything going on and reactions. But let us know about, what you guys think of the show, what you guys think about us coming back, and what you guys think about our breakdowns, our comments, and Taylor Lopez and Taylor Haney, just and Lopez Haney and just everything that's going on, the aftermath of that tremendous performance by Teofimo Lopez. But anyway, this is the Boxing Roundtable, and we'll catch you guys next time.
It's your boy, the Maniac and the Dream, and we out. 1.